Do you get stressed about healing? Does healing feel difficult and burdensome and not enjoyable? Most people who embark on a healing journey struggle to heal and find that healing is stressful because it either asks too much of themselves, or it asks them to change in too many ways, or it asks them to look at themselves in places they don't want to look. Most people who embark on a healing journey don't enjoy the process of healing because of that. They have a lot of resistance about it. They don't look forward to healing. They view healing as something that's not easy, that's going to take a long time, and that asks too much of them. And so if you feel exhausted and disappointed and defeated in your healing journey, it's time to evaluate your healing journey and how you're showing up for it and what beliefs you have about your healing journey that are perpetuating the struggle and stress of it. Welcome to The Simple Source, your source for all things self-love, self-healing, personal growth, and spirituality. I'm your host, Linda Valines. I used to be chronically sick and unhappy. I spent years trying anything and everything to heal, but I never got better. It wasn't until my late husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer that I finally stopped searching for the answers outside of myself and turned within. I taught myself how to truly love and heal myself, how to finally be authentically healthy and happy, mind, body, and soul. I have over 10 years of personal and professional self-healing and teaching experience. I'm a trauma-informed, certified holistic health and wellness coach, certified Ayurvedic counselor, and author. I healed myself of a lifetime of complex traumas and chronic conditions with joy and ease. Now I'm teaching you to do the same. So if you're ready to heal and love yourself more, mind, body, and soul, without all the struggle and stress, and with more joy and productivity, join me to liberate your highest, healthiest, and happiest self and learn how to thrive more simply. Let's get started with today's episode. If you're waking up stressed and you're stressed throughout the day and then you go to bed stressed, if you have a lot of resistance to self-care and to doing your healing work, and if you're hard on yourself a lot for not doing more of the healing work or not being more healed, if you drag your feet, if you procrastinate, if you feel guilty about not doing enough, if you end up consuming a lot of content but not doing anything, meaning taking any action. And if you feel exhausted and tired and you lack the energy and the motivation to heal, this is a large part of why your healing journey is not enjoyable, because that's not an enjoyable experience when you're relating to your healing in that way. If you feel guilty, if it feels overwhelming, if you feel stuck. If your life is defined by stress and struggle, or if productivity is defined by stress and struggle, or if success is defined by stress and struggle, then your healing journey is also going to be defined by stress and struggle. And that innately means that you are going to have less joy, less ease, and less freedom within your healing process. And then that means that your problems are going to remain problems. So that's like the same patterns repeating, the same cycles, because you're essentially stuck in survival mode, and your mind and your body are going to continue to struggle to heal in that mode because they're not designed to heal while you're in survival mode. So then what happens is you lose faith in yourself, you lose faith in your healing because it's not enjoyable, because it's not productive. You have all of this guilt and shame, and then you get trapped in that antagonistic mindset that makes you believe that how much you can heal is limited. That makes you believe that you're limited, because when nothing changes, then nothing changes, and then that cycle of guilt and shame perpetuates. And of course, healing is not going to be enjoyable and productive that way. And that's the experience for so many people on their healing journey. So the root of that is stress. That may seem like an oversimplification, but it actually is just the simple truth. Stress is your biggest block to healing. Mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress, all forms of stress inhibit your ability to heal. I used to be ruled by stress. I can talk about stress this way because I have like a relationship with stress that has developed over the last decade on my own healing journey and in my professional work. And all of my education is just like the common denominator when we struggle to heal. It's because we're stressed. We're addicted to stress. We have beliefs that defend our stresses. And the mind and the body cannot heal in stress mode. That is just our physiology, biology. That's how our brain works. That's neuroscience. That's psychology. That's just fact. And when I got certified to become a holistic health coach, I learned about the mind-body connection. And for me, that was the first time that I was able to make that connection between how much stress internally I was allowing, essentially, because we have full control over our nervous system states and how we think and feel, and my physical health and my overall well-being. It was the same. That is the mind-body connection. You know, our minds and our bodies are not separate. And so if mentally and emotionally and physically you're very stressed, meaning that you work long hours, you're eating a really poor diet, or you're over-exercising, or your home is filled with toxins, any and all stress, if it's sustained and puts you in a chronic dysregulated state, you're not going to be able to heal. And when I realized that for myself and made the connection of, gosh, I'm ruled by stress. I wake up stressed, my whole day I'm stressed, I go to bed stressed, then of course I'm not healing. Then of course I've spent years trying to heal to no avail. And of course my healing journey sucks and it's unproductive and I'm depressed and it's frustrating and all disappointing, of course. So I had to learn to stress less and to relax more because I understood finally that that is what my brain and my body needed to heal. And when I did that, when I changed my relationship with stress, when I prioritized relaxation, love, joy, gratitude, I successfully reconditioned my nervous system and I created the inner and thus outer environment for my body to heal itself. And that's exactly what happened. Healing is a holistic and a multifaceted process that requires your brain and your body to receive a signal of safety and for you to be in a primary state of regulation and rest or relaxation in order to optimize your innate healing capabilities. That means that your mind and your body require you to not be stressed all the time in order to heal. That is, again, simply how our minds and our bodies work. And our minds and our bodies function together, not separately. Again, that's the whole mind-body connection. When you understand that, you really then open the floodgates to a level of healing that's unavailable to you when you treat yourself like these separate, disparate parts. Like your thoughts don't affect your physical well-being, or your physical environment doesn't affect your mental well-being. Your mental health is matched by your emotional health, which is matched by your physical health, because that is how our brains and our nervous systems and our bodies are naturally designed. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how the nervous system works, why stress affects your healing journey so much in this episode, so you have a better understanding of why you're struggling and why that struggle is keeping you in a cycle of struggle. Because hopefully when you have this understanding, you can then be conscious of the fact that you have control over how stressed you are. And when you change your relationship to stress, then you're going to change your healing journey. So your body takes its operational cues from your mind, meaning what you think and feel and believe are literal instructions for your body. The main purpose, let's talk about the nervous system. The main purpose of your nervous system is to interpret your environment and to instruct your body to respond to the state of your environment accordingly. That's the purpose of the nervous system. And the primary cues that indicate the quality, the conditions of your environment that your nervous system uses to regulate your body are sensory, meaning what you sense and feel. So our nervous system is hundreds of millions of years old, and its primary concern, its chief concern, is our survival. And that means that it's very sensitive to anything that could potentially threaten our survival. That's why your thoughts and your feelings are so important to your nervous system. So your nervous system is paying very close attention to what you're feeling and thinking, because those are the primary cues to tell it whether or not you're safe or whether you're unsafe, meaning there's some degree of stress, because stress is the number one signal to alert your body to prime itself for a potential danger so that you can be prepared to address that threat and to survive and live another day. So that feedback loop between your nervous system and your body, that can be understood as the activation of your survival or stress response, which is what it's called, otherwise known as your sympathetic nervous system response, which your sympathetic nervous system is part of your autonomic nervous system. So your nervous system, again, is ancient and it's primal, and it hasn't yet evolved to reflect modern life, because modern life, as we know it, is really only a blip on the timeline compared to the history of our nervous system and its hundreds of millions of years of existence. Also, your subconscious mind, where your autonomic nervous system is housed, and your nervous system, they can't discriminate between stressors or what's real or imagined. So that means that regardless of what is causing you stress, whether it's just simply thinking, simply thinking about something that's potentially going to happen and that then causes you anxiety and worry, or something that is like literally happening to you in the moment that is threatening, it can't tell the difference. Your nervous system, your subconscious mind, they can't tell the difference. Also, you only have one stress response. So the stress that you put in your body because you're eating a lot of junk food, or your house has like a lot of mold in it, it's the same stress response that gets activated. If that's the stress, or the stress is emotional stress from suppressing like a lifetime of shame, it's the same stress response. And again, because our nervous systems haven't evolved with modern life, it treats all stress the same. And so it's the same stress response, whether or not we're being chased by a predatory animal, or we have a lot of resentment that we haven't processed and expressed and felt due to a traumatic incident that happened in our childhood. Or if you hate your job and you're depressed all day, or if you're working long hours and you're completely exhausted, or you're not sleeping enough and you're also completely exhausted, or your diet is completely lacking in nutrients, or too high in fat, or too high in protein, or too much processed sugar, etc. Any and all stress is stress to your nervous system, and it's going to activate your stress response. Again, that's physical, mental, or emotional stress. It's going to turn on your sympathetic nervous system. That's also called your fight, flight, and freeze response. So your sympathetic nervous system was designed to help you survive immediate threatening situations. That's why it's also called your acute stress response. It's useful when you see a car run a red light, and then your senses get really sharp and you become alert so that you can react very quickly and avert the danger. When your stress response is activated in the short term, it's very useful. That's what it was designed for. It's serving its original evolutionary purpose and function. However, your nervous system is not designed to operate in constant survival or stress mode all the time. And so when you're sending ongoing signals of stress to your brain and to your body through a combination of mental, emotional, and physical stress, then of course the health of your brain and your nervous system and your body are going to inherently become compromised. Now, what's equally important to understand is that when your sympathetic nervous system is activated, what automatically and naturally and instantaneously happens is that your parasympathetic nervous system, also called your rest and digest system, that gets deactivated so that your body has enough energy to fight, to flee, to handle the threat. That's how you are naturally designed. And that means because your parasympathetic nervous system that's why it's called your rest and digest system, is optimizes your digestion. So when it gets deactivated because your stress response is activated, then that means that your digestive system, which is where 70% of your immune system resides, and also your reproductive function, your detoxification functions, all of that gets compromised because it's deemed unimportant when your nervous system thinks that you're in danger and that your survival is threatened. Your parasympathetic nervous system is your self-healing system. It's how your body optimizes healing mode. And it's only activated when you're relaxed, when you're calm, when you feel safe. And when it's activated, it naturally prioritizes your self-healing capabilities because your nervous system understands that you're not in danger. And then this is prime time to heal then. Linda's safe. She's chill. She's regulated. Let's rev up her digestion, turn on her immunity. Let's restore, rejuvenate. Let's take care of all that shit that we need to take care of. It's going to repair because it has the energy to do so. So this means, friend, that if you're always stressed, let's do the math, then that means that your self-healing capabilities, your parasympathetic nervous system is also always depressed, like deactivated, suppressed, compromised, whatever word you want to put in there. It's not functioning optimally. So if your mental and emotional states are chronically tense and tumultuous, you're often anxious, you're ruminating a lot, that all means that you're just sending constant signals of stress to your body. And the longer that you do that, the more dysregulated your nervous system becomes. You get stuck in sympathetic overdrive, or you're just like stuck in survival mode, which means that over time, your digestion, your immunity, your reproductive functions, detoxification functions, all of that, of course, are going to break down because you have not been telling your brain and your body that you're safe enough for them to optimize those functions of your health and your well-being and your vitality. So I hope you understand that if you have been living with chronic stress for whatever reason, whether it's unresolved traumas, which is like the primary reason, and you're just harboring a lot of suppressed emotions, you have a mindset where you think that like you function best under pressure and, pain is our greatest teacher and you got to work hard in order to be successful. If that's your mindset, you are stressed. Your brain and your body are stressed. And so of course you're going to develop symptoms, some of them and or chronic conditions over time because you are functioning in dis-ease, meaning you are out of ease, right? i.e. stress. So if this resonates with you or you relate, they're like, wow, maybe I am like living in chronic stress mode, and you have symptoms. Those symptoms can be mental or physical. You have to know that your brain and your body don't like to operate in that mode. Nervous system dysregulation is not healthy for your brain and your body, and subsequently for your soul. You can't heal in that mode. That means then that your body is always going to be stuck with compromised health. And if you continue to do this over time, the symptoms and the conditions get worse. So if you want to experience more ease and more productivity in your healing journey, then you have to change your relationship with stress. You have to become aware of it. You have to accept, first of all, accept that stress is a factor in your life. You have to become really curious about how pervasive it probably is and what your beliefs are about it and how much you allow it, allow it to be a part of your life. That means that you have to take responsibility and ownership of your role in that relationship with stress, because you can't become empowered, which is what healing is, in order to change that relationship and become conscious and make more healing choices when it comes to whether or not you are functioning in stress mode. And that means that you have to show up for yourself and for your healing journey differently, because if you have beliefs that just perpetuate a lot of stress in your life, then it's going to be difficult to change your relationship with stress. And then, of course, your healing journey is going to continue to be stressful and you're going to continue to struggle. So when you begin to become curious in a self-loving manner, meaning you're not judging yourself, you're not condemning yourself, you're not calling yourself any names, you're not being hard on yourself. This is a loving curiosity where you get to become conscious and ask yourself very important questions about how stressed you are mentally, emotionally, and physically, and relationally. That's important too. Our relationships play a big role in our health and our well-being. Are you waking up stressed? What do you do when you get up in the morning? Are you checking your phone? That's a very stressful way to start the day, friend. Like, automatically you're telling your nervous system, oh, I'm starting in a stress mode, right? I'm like waiting, I'm getting a high, my dopamine, let's raise it. Blue lights. I mean, there's so many reasons why looking at your phone first thing in the morning is stressful to your brain and your body and not an awesome way to get up. Are you spending your day stressed? Meaning, do you need to be in control of everything? Are your work relationships tumultuous? Are your personal relationships tumultuous? What's going on in your day to day? And are you going to bed stressed? Like, how do you end your day? Are you going to bed dreading what the next day is going to be like? That was me for many years. There's so many ways that people go to bed in a dysregulated manner. And that, of course, then just sets you up for not an awesome night of sleep, which is stressful. That's physical stress. So then that sets you up to wake up in a suboptimal way, which again is just going to make it easier for you to feel stressed when you wake up. Do you see the vicious cycle here? So why is it that stress and struggle have become such a pervasive part of many people's healing journey? It's because you identify with stress and struggle. It's become a part of your identity. It's like, if I'm not stressed, if I don't have this relationship with stress, if I'm not doing, if I'm not anxious, if I'm not in control, who am I? That's your wounded self. That's not your authentic self. Your authentic self does not want to be stressed all the time, doesn't want to be dysregulated. Your authentic self wants to be in balance, wants to be at peace, wants to flow, and wants to be at ease and have the energy, the appropriate energy, to be holistically empowered in the present moment, meaning like you have the energy to deal with whatever is happening as opposed to unconsciously reacting from some past wounded version of yourself that is hypervigilant, has, some coping or defense mechanism that isn't serving your highest health and good. So when you begin to understand that your healing journey is needlessly stressful and can be so much easier and more productive when you begin to ask yourself why you're defined by struggle and stress, then you can change it. Then you're conscious. Then you have the foundation of the awareness that then allows you to take more meaningful and healing action so that you can obtain the knowledge that will prepare you to make more lasting, more productive, and easeful changes that don't feel like an uphill battle, that don't feel like you're doing something for nothing. Let's make this very clear for you. Healing, by definition, is a transformation. It's you going from sick to unwell, unhappy to happy, and transformation is change. So if you want to keep defending the notion that healing is hard and that life is stressful, that's what life is, then how can you experience anything differently? That's what I mean when I say it's part of your identity. And if you defend struggle and stress, then why is healing going to be any different for you? Why would it be any different for you? Also, struggle and stress are directly in opposition to what healing is by definition. By definition, healing is a reclamation of your freedom, your wholeness, and well-being. That is the precise definition of what healing is. So let's define struggle. If you go in the dictionary, the definition of struggle is to contend with or to oppose with difficulty and force. Does that match up with healing? No, my friend. Let's define what stress is. If you go into the dictionary, look up what stress is. The definition of stress is physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension. Does that line up with what healing is definitively? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So when you define your healing journey by struggle and stress, then you are in total conflict with what healing is by definition. And so no wonder healing is going to be unproductive and frustrating and unsatisfying for you. So when you allow yourself, and it is you giving yourself permission to change your beliefs, to question your own current reality and say, hey, could this be easier? Can I move forward in life with more ease? When you allow yourself to release the notion that struggle and stress have to be a part of healing, then you're actually free to heal. Thank you so much for joining me today in The Simple Source. I hope this episode has inspired you, reminded you of your healing power, and reawakened you to who your true and highest self is. If the show has empowered and enlightened your self-love, growth, and healing journey, please share this episode, leave a positive review on Apple or Spotify, and subscribe to be reminded of new episodes. I am so grateful for your presence, and all of your comments and your support are seen and read and deeply appreciated. They really do help this show so much. Also, sign up for my newsletter, The Weekly Source, to get more healing tips, motivation stories, and to get to know me better. And if you haven't read my book, Unconditional, You Are Perfect As You Are, I invite you to get your copy today and start reading. And lastly, I would love to see you inside my Source membership, the only holistic and comprehensive step-by-step self-healing program that is proven to work. It's time to stop struggling to heal and time to learn how to thrive more simply and joyfully. All the links are in the show notes. Thanks again for joining me today, and I will see you next time.